theme of the show today from blah, 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 had them funny beats. She was out, had 1,000 tales. Master, you in luck, cause up your sleeve. You got a brand of magic never fails. You got some power in your corner. Now some heavy ammunition in your camp. You got some punch, pizzazz, yeah. We're in the house, yeah. All you gotta do is rub that lamp, and I'll say. Oh, okay, we're back. Oh, good stuff. Oh, okay.
I know the words.
Keep going. Okay.
Anyway, I guess we're back. What's up? Let's talk about upcoming events. That's what we were just about to do.
Yes.
We didn't actually get to any events, so don't feel like you were left out at all.
Right. Okay. So, this coming weekend, here in the United States, in Plano, Texas, is Absolute Battle 6.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, I don't know if he lives there, but you know how there's that guy Ernesto Lopez Jr. who like keeps making those little comedy videos and stuff. He made one for Absolute Battle 6.
I saw that.
That's actually pretty cool.
I thought it was awesome, actually. Yeah, it was really well done.
They had a video where they were coming up with all the excuses possible. Like, oh, I haven't played this game in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, this is not my normal stick.
I
you
saw
know,
that.
so,
Yeah,
oh, this
really
is
good.
PS4. You know, yeah, it was kind of funny.
It was awesome.
So, but that's taking place this weekend again in Plano, Texas. It'll be streamed mostly on Panda X Gaming, but also on twitch.tv/versusgameplay, Salty Mayhem, and Tourney Locator. And there are going to be a lot of exhibitions at this as
yeah, the Ultra Fight Night will be going on because Panda X Gaming is there.
Yep.
There's going to be some fun stuff.
Yeah, and
definitely want to check it out.
There's one of them that there's like all this history. Apparently Tommy Guns was calling somebody out. And I guess it was Crackfiend who came to the player's defense.
Oh.
And now they got like super mad at each other.
Oh.
And then now I think they're playing against each other.
They are playing against each other, and I wondered what the backstory was.
Yeah,
there you go.
so apparently they're like legit, like legit shit talking going on between these two.
Okay.
And so like, yeah, apparently they this is like they really want to beat each other. Like this is maybe like Marvel level. No, it's probably not NBC2.
Probably not. Yeah.
No, never beat NBC2. So, but yeah. So there you go. But
all right, that's awesome.
A lot of pop bonuses: $1,000 for Ultra Street Fighter 4, $500 for Smash Wii U, $1,000 for MKX, $500 for DOA. So definitely check that out. Again,
that's in Plano, Texas. Well, one thing that I really like about it is that Panda X Gaming, as a live broadcaster, does some cool stuff. Like he's willing to be experimental about it. And this Ultra Fight Night, when he's had live events that he's been at, like at Texas Showdown, you know, he goes out there and he's like the MC of it. And it's cool, man. I really wish that like I feel like he has ideas that maybe other streams, other tournaments could pick up.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why it's great to have all the different streamers because you build a lot of different ideas and stuff like that. Like I still remember Level Up was one of the first ones to feature tweets on stream. Yeah. And then eventually lots of people started doing that.
That's important,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, things like that. So.
If you see a good idea, take it.
Also, coming up this weekend, though I don't know if there's going to be any fighting game tournaments or events or whatever is going on, but TwitchCon is happening this weekend. In fact, I can't say what's going to happen at TwitchCon at all, because I still don't know what's happening at TwitchCon.
You know, there's a whole schedule of events.
There is a whole schedule of events.
Okay, why don't we go through some examples. Meet and Greet 1.
Okay, so you can meet guys like Lyric and I Am Spoon and Lol Renainai and Eat My Diction 1 and Gassy Mexican, amongst others.
Amongst others, indeed.
Yes.
There's Gaming Lab Guild Wars. There's Just Shapes and Beats and Infernax at the Indie Game Garage. Okay, that could be interesting.
Earn money with the Amazon Associates program on Twitch.
Okay, education about Amazon.com.
Apparently, after all that is the Welcome to TwitchCon event.
Okay, all right. Your Brand on Twitch panel featuring OMG Elsie, Alan Klee, Pixel Lumberjack, Avalon Star, and Shark.
Yep, and then there's another broadcaster pod too with almost famous Loser Fruit, Pocket, Snarfy Bobo, and NL Crit.
Make your charity fundraising easier. Meet and Greet 2.
Oh, okay.
I can't do this anymore. So, I can't make it. I had been considering going, but a friend of mine is getting married and so forth, so I can't get there, unfortunately. I'd like to go just for sort of industry concerns and to meet and greet and do the whole handshake business. But I am not sure how the presentations are going to go, so...
Oh, there it is. Okay. So Meet and Greet 4, that's the one I was looking for.
Okay.
That's Team Spooky. So this is at 2:45 on September 24th. Team Spooky, Maximilian's going to be there. Cosmo Wright is going to be there. Okay. So there you go. Some more names that we recognize.
Yeah, look, I don't want to put too much crap on it. I'm just screwing around. I mean, there certainly are some worthwhile looking exhibits in there. There's an LGBT broadcaster panel. There's like women in esports. There's a lot of stuff that sounds like it could be educational if you want to do your own streaming.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a learn how to. It seems like a lot of like gather ideas for how to be a streamer, techniques for streaming, what a lot of people's strategies and stuff like that are. So there's actually probably a lot of things that we probably should be paying attention to because, you know.
Another panel at 4:30 p.m. Broadcasting. It's not rocket science. Education on XSplit.
Dude, I so want him going to John Oliver. I want a John Oliver mode like that. I'll be like, you. Oh my god, it's not rocket science. I'm so mad right now.
Anyway, so that's this weekend. Interested to hear from friends who are going about how it ends up going.
Yep. Also, a lot of events coming up in Europe as well. The Call of Ragnarok is taking place in Oslo, Norway.
At the House of Nerds.
At the House of Nerds. That's so awesome.
The Call of Ragnarok at the House of Nerds.
It looks like the main event is going to be Ultra Street Fighter 4. Okay. So this looks like it has ranking points involved in there. So you can definitely get some ranking points.
There are some good players in Norway, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. So definitely check that out. That will be streamed. Do they have the stream information here? They do not have the stream information here. So once again, our weekly shout out to FGC Calendar. tinyurl.com/FGC Calendar. If they don't have the stream information listed there, then that stream information might be nowhere. I mean, seriously, they have so much of the information there. So, but that is taking place this weekend. Once again, Oslo, Norway. In Berlin, Germany, is Helix 2015, and this seems to be a. Hang on a second. Let me see here. Information here. Attendees. I want to say this is a Smash tournament. Yeah. So we just had Dreamhack London, where Tempo Westballs, for example, a California player, was out there. Apparently he's sticking around. He will be playing at this event as well. Yeah, this is Helix 2015. This will be streamed on twitch.tv/Geeky Goon Squad. All one word. Okay. So it is going to, looks like it's going to be Melee singles and doubles, as well as Project M singles.
Nice. Okay. Yep.
Also coming up this weekend is EGX 2015 in UK, in the West Midlands. Dude, this is the NEC Birmingham, Pendigo Way, Marston Green, Birmingham, West Midlands, B40, 1NT, United Kingdom. They got some long addresses out there.
Yeah. I guess they do. I don't know. I don't know anything about how addresses work there. But no, that's a lot of good players who will be there from the UK and from Europe, and should be some good commentary over there as well. Okay.
I don't have stream information, but you can go to their website at www.egx.net/EGX. Okay. And finally, there is a KO fighting game festival, which is taking place in Kuwait.
Right, and this is the Capcom Pro Tour premiere event that is happening in Kuwait. This is the one that we mentioned earlier in the year when the whole list was announced. Here's the one that's going to be in the Middle East.
Yeah. So good stuff. Definitely check them out.
Yeah. Awesome.
You can follow information by going to twitter.com/WhiteTowerQ8. I do not have the stream information, but being a premiere event, most likely going to be on Capcom Fighters.
Yeah.
So definitely tune in this weekend. For
a lot of good players are going there from not just the Middle East. I mentioned Big Bird before and how I think he's really good. He's not the only good player in the region, so that'll be cool to see. But I know some players from East Asia are going as well. Nice. For example, I know Shen is there, but I think there will be others as well.
Okay. I did want to mention something when we were talking about the events that have happened. I forgot to also mention that Team Stickbug had an event. This was the event where they flew 4 out-of-towners to this event. Like Nerd Josh was one of the guys who managed to go there. The reason why it wasn't mentioned, there weren't really many results. It unfortunately was not streamed, so I didn't get to see much. I didn't get to see any of it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think Nerd Josh did pretty well at that event as well. So, but yeah, that did happen. I did not want to miss mentioning that having taken place as well.
Did we get the stream for Call of Ragnarok?
Call of Ragnarok. Let me see. The stream for Call of Ragnarok. I do not see a stream listed here.
Okay, well, Simpson in the chat says he believes it's twitch.tv/RB Norway. The letters RB Norway.
Okay, like RB, like Red Bull?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
RB Norway.
Okay, cool. Sweet. So that's coming up this weekend. But as for events coming up, later on in the year, there's still some more news to talk about as soon as I can find the right tab. We are fully professional broadcasting. It's not rocket science.
Not rocket science.
Not rocket science. Not rocket science.
Education on XSplit.
Dude, as much as we've made fun of TwitchCon now, like I 100% should be there because I need to learn some stuff.
Maybe it'll be streamed. I don't know.
But yes, so upcoming news. Remember that when they announced that Tekken was going to do its own Tekken 7, kind of like a Namco Cup kind of event. Well, apparently New York City has just been announced recently, so there's going to be qualifiers for this. I think round 1 in Puente Hills here in Southern California was announced a while ago. But I think they just added now, New York City is also getting one at a Dave & Buster's in Times Square on October 18th, which is a Sunday. So they get a qualifier there.
Interesting.
As well as I mentioned, round 1 in the Puente Hills Mall in California, and that's on October 3rd on a Saturday.
Okay.
So remember, that is an $81,000 prize pool that you can be going after once for the King of the Iron Fist Championships right there.
Okay.
So,
sick.
There you go. Also, Smash is making a glorious return to MLG.
Okay.
Remember that Smash largely originally kind of was supported by MLG. In fact, it was like one of MLG's main games. It was like that and Halo.
This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and then eventually they dropped them, and Smash hasn't been back in a long time. And so apparently they're back at the 100th event in October 16th through 18th.
Well, I imagine it'll be a different thing too, because last time they were there, if you recall, Nintendo did not want it streamed.
Oh, did that happen?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So like there were tournaments, but it wasn't like kind of a different deal.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, if they're allowed to stream it and stuff like that, that just shows you how much Nintendo themselves have changed.
Nintendo has changed.
Yeah, so that's actually really cool. Also, being run and organized by one Nicholas Going, aka Driftwood.
Driftwood, aka at least in the past, the #1 Fei Long on Xbox Live. That's true. I don't know, I'm not sure if he still is, but he was.
I wasn't looking at you like you were lying. There's no reason for me not to believe that he's the #1 Fei Long in anything. That's how strong Driftwood is as a player. But the cool thing about it is Nicholas Going and fellow Arizonite Justin Bruce Van Horn, JBVH appropriately, are organizing the first Arizona major, what they're hoping to be the first year of an Arizona major called Rewired, and that'll be taking place November 14th through 15th. I believe this is the first time you're doing it. Did they do it?
It is, yeah.
Oh,
so this is, I talked with Driftwood on earlier today, and he wanted me to mention that this is not related to previous, in some cases shady Arizona tournaments. You know, there have been Devastation, whatever, that didn't pay out well. This is a community thing. It is separate. They would like to make it a bigger thing, but you know, they're starting it out. Not exactly starting it out. They have had tournament series that they've done in the past, so it's not like they're starting from nothing, but they are starting a regional that they hope will build into a major. Yeah,
which is super cool. Again, look, TOing is not an easy task. It's a lot of work, and shout outs to these guys taking up this endeavor. A lot of the best players out there do become TOs, and because they have a lot of pride in their home scene. You know what I mean? Like, Vi only started going to Wednesday night fights at one point, you know, Shiggle BMX's garage days, after West Coast got bodied by East Coast at bar fights, right? I mean, that spurred him to go and try to build up the scene again. Yeah. You just have a lot of pride in your scene, and one of the best ways to do that is to give him something to play for. And so to see these guys doing that, I think that's super cool. Again, you can check them out. Their official website is www.rewiredaz.com.
And it is a site that shows all the info.
Oh, does it? Okay, good stuff.
Sajam will be commentating.
Oh, nice, good stuff.
And I also heard that Brent and Filipino Man might go out there from Socal and try to take their games, take their money.
There's a little bit of a rivalry between Arizona and Socal, you know, rivalry. Yeah. But it's like Andy Roddick said one time, it's like you actually have to win in order to have a rivalry. So, you know, Arizona has to, you know, kind of, you know, so it's not quite a rivalry yet, you know. So.
Yeah, they have a great Marvel scene there too, so we'll, you know, it should be a good event. What day was that again?
Oh, let me reopen the tab.
November,
I think it's 14th and 15th. Yeah, November 14th and 15th. So coming up very soon. Yes, in Tucson, Arizona.
We'll talk about that in the future too. It's not going to be the last time.
For sure. All right. Also, news for Southern California Regionals. One of the events that we talked about that's coming up in October. Twitch has decided to add $2,000 to the Smash prize pool there. So they're just throwing in $2,000 there. Again, that SoCal Regional is taking place October 9th through 11th in Ontario, California. So that is also a Capcom Premier event. There's already a lot of money on the line. Like I think they in the recent trailer they just announced it was like over $30,000 being given away in prize money.
Sick.
A lot of international competition that he actually said. Was it? I think it was Raiketsu Vega or some. There's a Vega player from Japan
I think you're right,
showing up randomly or something like that. But speaking of the Level Up team, we could probably mention that Vi just put out a video today of a walkthrough of I guess what's going to be the Wednesday Night Fights new venue.
Right.
So it looks like he's planning to finally start up offline Wednesday Night Fights again in Santa Ana, California, and this is going to be taking place at a place called Esports Arena.
Yeah.
I feel like an Asian group named that building. You know,
like an Asian group?
Yeah, like Taiwan fighting game tournament.
Oh, I see.
You know, it's Esports Arena.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? It looks really well put together. I've never been there, but man, it looks sweet inside. And they have all this branding in there, and they have their computers or their PlayStations or whatever it is in like these nice plexiglass Lexan-looking boxes that have lights, like blue LEDs or something in them. It's like bizarrely nice looking.
Dude, it looks legit.
There's a whole stage. There's a commentary booth. Yeah.
It's 2 stories. They even have more stuff upstairs, and they have couches where you could sit down and relax. They even have some of those crazy driving games where you sit on the chair on the ground, and like it looks like a sick venue. And I'm going to guess that Santa Ana is where in SoCal area. It's like a little bit kind of south, right? I'm going to want to guess that that's probably where Southern California Regionals was supposed to take place. Remember how they were always talking about how they had a great venue and they couldn't quite get it, they couldn't quite finish building it in time, etc., etc. Yeah. How much you want to bet it's this place?
Okay.
That's what I'm going to guess. So.
That seems likely.
But yeah, sure enough, it looks like a really awesome venue. Obviously, some people are going to bring up, you know, like they're doing that. Super Arcade's coming back. They're probably going to do a Wednesday Night Fights as well. So, be interesting to see how this goes. certainly hope it doesn't cause any like rifts or rivalries or splits or anything like that. I hope they can work together so that it's like one of them does it on Wednesday, the other does it on Monday or something like that. And you know, and because I mean, obviously we still also have UGC, we have all these different areas. So you know, I'd love to see all the different locations work with each other.
Agreed. It would be great. UGC is in a very different region than where Santa Ana is. These are like opposite ends, sort of the LA area.
Right.
But where Super Arcade is talking about going, where they're back in Walnut. Is that?
No. They're still in the city that. In Azusa, they're still in Azusa.
Still in Azusa?
Yeah,
Oh,
Azusa.
really? Okay.
It's like literally like 1 or 2 blocks down from where they originally tried to get to.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah.
But that area is not that close to Santa Ana either. Not that it's like a far distance, but it's not like the same spot either. So hopefully with these different areas, you know, there won't be too much fighting about it. But it's nice to have more local offline places to go play.
And I really do feel bad for Watson because I mean obviously he's just been running into problem after problem after problem. Would have been nice to have Super Arcade open already to establish it. He wanted to open before Evo.
I remember.
Like he had planned to open it like a month before Evo, and then all that City of Azusa stuff, the landlord debacle and all that stuff happened. So it's unfortunate, but apparently this first Wednesday night fights, I forgot when he said it's going to start, but I think it's going to be in October. I think it's going to be in October that it's starting up, so yeah, that's all I have for upcoming event news.
Yeah, I believe it's the end of October, but Alex is in the chat, so let us...
Oh, okay.
October 21st, okay, so it's before... Wait, when is SCR? Yeah, it's after SCR, but not that far afterward. Less than a month from now.
Okay,
cool. So
cool.
it's starting up soon.
Do you want to just do the game news really quick? Let's just blast it there because there's not that much. They mentioned that Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator is coming out in spring 2016.
Okay.
So to consoles, I should say, in 2016. Of course, that is Japanese. I'm not sure if there's anything in North America planned.
Okay.
How did I do that?
I don't know. That's cool.
Geez. Okay. Also announced recently at Tokyo Game Show was SNK Playmore announced King of Fighters 14 in an interesting decision. It seems like they're releasing it on the PlayStation 2. At least that's based on the footage that I saw. Instead of going with like the latest console.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they're trying to go back and hit the demographic of people with all the PS2 controllers and such.
Dang. You know, when
it's for PS4.
Yeah, I mean obviously. When we were talking, when you were going through the list of like stories, right? I saw KOF down kind of low, and I wanted to be like, we should really talk about that earlier than that, but then I was like, nah, you're right. You're right. Presumably it's early, but it can't be that early because it's coming out next year. 2016.
Yeah,
like it's not like this is like build one out of whatever, how many it's going to be. Like there is some ways into it, and it just doesn't look that great, folks. It just doesn't look that great.
I mean, I hope they keep working on it. I mean, to be honest with you, like, it probably would have cost a lot of money for them. Money probably they didn't have, but, I mean, let's face it. Guilty Gear put out this giant... They did talks. There's articles on how they did all of their cell shading craziness.
A lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but KOF would look beautiful like that.
Oh, yeah.
That is
KOF and Guilty Gear?
Yeah,
style?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Like KOF 100% should have went that direction.
That would be awesome.
I mean, look, they tried to do 3D a long time ago, Maximum Impact. I remember seeing it at an E3 one time. I like picked it up, I started playing it, I put it down, I walked away.
You never got it.
I was like, no. Because the thing about it is, one of the faults of it, honestly, though, was that they tried to also make it a 3D game.
Yeah.
Instead of just making KOF in 3D, like how Street Fighter 4 is just Street Fighter with 3D graphics, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully some good will come out of this. I mean, I know a lot of people are super excited for KOF 14. I really hope it pans out, but let's also put it this way. KOF 12 came out, and a lot of people were kind of like, this is kind of janky, like, where's some of these characters they're missing, whatever. And that was just a template for KOF 13, which turned out to be one of the greatest KOF games in a long time, right? KOF 14 could be very well doing a lot of the same things. They just need to establish it, get it out there, and then...
Is this the Star Trek rule of KOFs?
Every other KOF, yeah, maybe, so... But yeah, I mean, I really hope so. I really hope so. Or
yeah,
I really hope KOF 14 comes out and is good.
Of course, that's bad. That's case.
Exactly.
Of course.
So, you know, I mean, let's face it. There are games out there that don't look so great that play awesome.
Sure,
right?
that's true.
So
some of them are avowed technical alphas. But, you know.
yeah. So, okay. So, also...
hopefully there'll be no more news on that in the future.
Yeah, I think Pokken is playable in New York City, maybe even at the same Dave & Buster's that Tekken 7 World Championships is happening. But apparently, this was just announced, like literally right before we started the show.
Yeah, 'cause I hadn't heard
I saw from on iPlayWinner that some people have spotted them putting together a Pokken cabinet at Puente Hills round 1. Probably, I mean, it is the same one that Tekken 7 World Championship is taking place. So apparently, SoCal's going to have access to Pokken very soon.
That's cool.
That's actually super cool. Yeah.
That's fun.
And then also, we mentioned this last week. They just they came back into the news, but they have started their Indiegogo campaign now. Main 6 has started up their campaign for Them's Fightin' Herds. If you guys remember, this is basically what's resulted off of MLP Fighting is Magic. They started making a game. The cease and desist came from Hasbro.
Correct.
The creator of the My Little Pony reboot came on board to help them design characters. Created a whole new world, like a whole new lore and everything. Like they have like complete brand new lore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
really
Them's Fightin' Herds is coming out, and yeah, when I first saw the videos for it, I was actually blown away by how well the animation
looks really good. Actually.
It looks
I agree.
Really, really good. It looks really good, and not only that, did you see the video of the dynamic music background?
No, I don't think I did actually.
Dude, that thing is so sick.
Yeah?
Like it's like round 1 fight, like the video example they showed, they just put labels on what's playing, right? It's like Arizona is one of the characters' names. I love the character names. I don't know why. Like I just think they came up with really good names. But the cow is Arizona, and I believe was that a unicorn or something? It was Velvet, right?
Okay.
But Arizona comes on like so. It's round 1, and Arizona's theme, like a little tidbit of it plays, and then a little tidbit of Velvet's theme plays, and then they start fighting, and it's the normal background theme, right? And Arizona starts winning, and the theme song is the same theme, but all of a sudden changes to an Arizona flair. Like they add instruments like violins, because that's how Arizona's theme song works.
Really?
And then as they're fighting, Velvet starts winning the match, and all of a sudden it switches, so it has like Christmas bell sounds to it. Dude. And then when it wins, they play a little bit of Arizona's theme in the background, and it gets more tense as it keeps going and stuff like that.
That is awesome.
I
did not know about that.
Yeah, it's like one background music that changed to match the character that was winning.
I did not. That's so cool.
That was actually really sick.
Agreed.
Like if you go to their Indiegogo page,
okay,
they show an example video.
Now, yeah.
It's like really cool. Like I watched it and I was like, because remember how we were I was complaining about MK and like all the games that the background music just wasn't quite there and stuff like that. Like this one, like as you're watching it, I feel like it'll help the viewer experience a lot. Just to hear the music get kind of hyped up. Like it literally started off as regular background music, then this guy's version, and then this version. It was really neat.
That's super really cool. Neat. I have to say, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Very cool idea.
So I mean, look, the game looks like it's coming along awesome to me. I think it looks really, really cool. A lot of people have asked me, do you think it'll be successful, etc., whatever like that. Look, it's using the Skulls Girls engine and stuff like that. Even if it turns out to be a little bit of a niche game, it's cool that it's even being made. I'm really happy for the guys who are behind the project because, I mean, just judging from a lot of the conversations, SRK has a really nice article on them because they actually interviewed and talked with a lot of them. They seem really passionate about this project and stuff like that. So I'm super happy for them that they're starting this Indiegogo campaign and stuff like that. And
well, it's a campaign that is looking for $436,000 in one day. 2,188 people raised $125,000.
There you go.
That's not a bad rate.
That's a good start, for sure.
Pretty good start.
Especially since the majority of the money for almost all crowdfunding comes like in the last 2 days or so like that. So that's really, really cool to see. That's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Just search Indiegogo and Them's Fightin' Herds. And obviously, I approve of the name.
The name is good.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So.
Okay.
But yeah, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Okay. Also, just wanted to mention a little bit that Kotaku actually has the series going on called Compete, I think it is.
Okay.
And it's kind of about, it's called Compete, and they're just doing little stories on competitive gaming. The most recent one they put out was All Moment 37. So they actually have like a newly captured footage of like the actual match, and they actually interviewed Daigo and Justin. So you actually see interview footage of them talking about it and stuff like that. So that you can hear what Daigo's mentality was. He like talks about it a little bit and stuff like that. So I mean, it's really cool content for the FGC. You know, on Kotaku, like them or not, they're a mainstream gaming site. So it's cool to see that. So definitely check that out. It's called Justin versus, or you can probably go to YouTube and find the video there. It's called Justin Wong versus Daigo Umehara, the real story behind Moment 37. Of course, you know, there's
the Daigo parry.
Yeah, the Daigo parry. So, but definitely check that out.
That is so. Okay.
Yep. Gosh, I don't even know if we have time to talk about some of the other things that I wanted to talk about. I did want to mention this. Oh
yes, definitely. Let's mention that.
Yeah, we wanted to mention this last week, and we missed it, but. Do I still have? Yeah, here it is.
You do. Okay, so very, very cool project that's being put together that has been happening for the last couple of weeks now. Like James said, we just forgot to mention it. Marvel Lives. I don't like pronouncing that word like that.
Marvel, baby!
Yeah. Anyway, really cool website that was put together with a very cool podcast accompanying it, / video podcast, you know. That talks all about Marvel 3, and it's a great, first of all, very good website. Can I just say that? Like, check out the website.
Yeah,
the website is top notch.
Someone knows what they're doing who put together that website, for sure.
It's super sick. Like, it tells you, like, what the next upcoming tournaments are for Marvel. It has all these links to good resources. It has links to their sick podcast, which we'll talk about in just a bit. It talks about all the people who are contributing to it.
Like the coming up events that Marvel is going to be at. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned the podcast that they did. So they did the podcast, unfortunately the first
Marvelous Mondays.
Yeah, the Marvelous Mondays podcast. Unfortunately, the first episode that they did, due to technical difficulties, got lost. They didn't have an archive of it. So they actually just did episode number 1 again and talked about the topics. And if you actually go to the site, like literally embedded on the webpage is the podcast sitting at the bottom of the browser.
It's such a sick website, man.
Yeah.
I am very happy that they put that together. That's really, really
so
cool.
You can just click that. But I mean, some of the people involved in that are Kinder Party is there, SBK, Marvello, and Persia. And of course, some of the other people contributing, Fireball Paul, Potato Salad, and Merkel, I should say, 999X. So it's really good stuff here. Really great Marvel resource. Like I said, it's really cool for me to see that the Marvel community is really stepping it up and doing a lot of these things.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it Green Ace, or who was the one that started the resource for finding matches and stuff like that?
I don't remember. But so it's nice because the podcast is really well done. They talk about tournaments that have come up. You know, it's sort of the same thing that we do, but just very focused more tightly on Marvel 3.
Yes.
And with people who know the game very well, and they can really break down what happened in the matches in very insightful ways. And they talk about Marvel for like an hour and a half. It's really cool. I mean, I've listened to the last couple, and it's Kinder Party being like the host, I guess.
Oh,
and
nice.
He sort of tosses it off to
good
people, and he asks a series of questions, and they all have a little debate on it.
That's cool.
I really like it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely check that out.
What's the website?
At marvellives.com, which is MAHVELLIVES. Probably a good idea to use that because you probably can't use Marvel, right? Because Marvel of all companies will come after a tiny little website like this. Yeah. So Marvel lives, and check out their podcast called Marvelous Mondays. I mean, their website is actually called Marvelous Essentials, but it's at marvellives.com.
Right.
So there you go.
Awesome job, because certainly we've talked in the past about how games like ST sort of came back to life. Melee did it. And then we sort of contrasted it with how it seemed like the Marvel scene was going.
Yeah,
not even that long ago. Only a few months ago, really, 6 months ago maybe. And it didn't seem like the Marvel 3 scene was going to keep it up.
Right.
It seemed like they were just sort of going to let it fall.
Right.
And these guys are not doing that. They're not doing that, so that's awesome.
Like you said, the ST Revival crew, like El Trouble, Miller Time, Bob Painter, of course. Daryl doesn't do anything for them. But
I don't think so.
He doesn't do any work at all. Muffin Man, he's kind of useless, but he's just
nice guy.
I think they're just nice. They just don't want to shoo him away because I think they'd feel bad or something.
Sure.
So, yeah. But in any case, I had some other topics that I really wanted to talk about. Mostly just after TFC, there was a little bit of discussion that started on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm not sure how this started, but then it's like words kind of got in there at some point in time because Dominion. So no, I remember how it started. Is that I think it was either Low Tier God or somebody started complaining about Zangief as as a BS character because his Vortex is too good. Right? Okay. And I was like, his Vortex is good, but good luck getting there.
Yeah,
that's the whole Zangief principle, right? He has a great Vortex because
forever.
Short jump, regular jump. I mean, once he does the bear grab into the corner, that mix-up sucks right there. Yeah. Because from the same spot, he crosses you up or not, right?
That's really good.
So a lot of people started debating that, and so some people started talking about that, and then I kind of made a comment that, because Dominion was mentioned something about Zangief being really good. And I was like, I just feel like you play them. I actually told him I felt like you played the match too logically. That he needs to play a little bit more like Knuckle Dude because Knuckle Dude kind of goes crazy and goes offensive, right? Then there were some choice words from Dominion, and then
he didn't like that.
Well, he didn't like. He had no problem with my suggestion, although he was joking around. Like, so you basically telling me to play like Knuckle Dude, I need to just turn off my brain, right? Kind of stuff like that. Knuckle Dude even kind of returned some shots on the Daily Dot broadcast, and stuff like that. But whatever, I don't care about the drama. The main thing that came out of that, though, was that some people were saying, and this floored me, this just made me laugh, right? Is that I'm not laughing because I thought it was silly. I'm laughing because of the great turnaround that this is. Some people were saying that the reason why Snake Eyes and Knuckle Dude play so well is because they're pad players. And pads are way more advantageous to use than joysticks.
It's funny. I mean, it's not new, really, because I remember even back in maybe 2011 or 2012, something like that. I had a couple of friends who switched over to pad specifically because they thought it was better. Right. And for a while, I even tried to do that.
I remember.
But I stopped because I just stopped playing in general. It wasn't like I had a problem with pad. Pad's good. But yeah, it is a big turnaround from before that, from 10 years ago, when everybody in the FGC, competing FGC, sort of going to tournaments, thought that pad was awful. Yeah. And I remember people specifically saying, you specifically could not play characters like Zangief. Zangief was one of the characters that was obviously you can't play this character with pad because you can't do the motions of 720s.
Yeah, and 2 of Street Fighter 4's historical best U.S. Zangief players were pad players.
Indeed. In fact, a bunch of the best American players have been pad players.
I mean, even you'll never be able to play Viper. You'll never play Dudley, Wolf Crone, Smug, super good pad players using those characters.
Right. It's the same thing for Marvel, where Marvel has good pad players even. So, obviously there's nothing wrong with pad. Question is it too good in some ways? I understand in some ways what they're talking about.
Right, so when you play a pad, you don't move as much, you can't hear the buttons.
Exactly.
And so when you use a joystick, you hear the smack, and some people are basically saying it's stupid to try to map dead buttons. Like, I shouldn't have to map dead buttons to be competitive, you know? I mean, for me, having played in the arcade my whole entire life, just doing this is just a natural part of me, you know? So much to the point that my best friend mentioned that he noticed that whenever I was gonna uppercut, I would try to stay as still as possible.
That's funny.
And whenever I tried to fake an uppercut, I would always do this to fake the uppercut. So it was like an opposite tell. Like, if I didn't do anything,
That's
you knew I
great.
was gonna uppercut.
That's great.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's really sad, James.
That's really fun.
But I mean, I was born and raised on that whole kind of
Yeah.
concept. So to me, it feels natural and I like it, right? But then this brought up the secondary debate, which is tournaments should no longer play side by side. They should only be head to head because that's the objective, not even subjective,
Right, yeah, that was the funny part,
objectively better way to play and the only true legit form of tournament.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with.
No, come on.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So
So I definitely get it that pad doesn't have the same sort of noises that come from it. And the friends that I mentioned who switched to pad years ago, they did it because they felt that they got faster inputs. That they didn't have to go boom boom with the stick. They could just go boop boop.
Right.
Like, there was a dash.
Uh-huh.
They were already dashing. They felt they were faster about it. So I sort of get that. But and this is the stupidest but like most obvious response, why are you not also playing pad? if that is a legit enough thing, play pad.
right.
If that's important enough to you, for me, but you know, when I was competing, like I said, I tried to pick up pad because I thought it was good in some ways, but if it's important enough to you, those small advantages. Play to whatever maximum advantages you can get.
Right.
That's my view. You know, I've said this many times. If I had continued to compete, I would have done it on hitbox. I would have switched to hitbox years ago. Because I feel that hitbox is better than pad even. I feel like it's just the best. It's designed, rather than all the other input methods which were designed for other stuff and adapted for fighters, it was designed for fighters.
Right.
And I feel like it is the best for it. So if you believe in the power of pad or of hitbox and you're not playing one of those two, then you're screwing up. And it's the same thing as if you were to play some bad character and say, oh man, I can't compete, I'm playing with DJ. Well, don't pick DJ. If it's important, if winning is important enough to you, don't pick DJ. Pick the character or the input method that gives you the best advantage. That's it. And so, I don't know, I don't have that much sympathy for people who want to complain about that stuff. That's it.
Plus, if you're old school, you just know how to play against that. Let me demonstrate to you how John Choi does Saget's uppercut in CVS2.
Okay.
Okay, remember, it's a 5-hit uppercut that you do uppercut motion, right? That's how he does an uppercut in CVS2.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
No, yeah.
He hits the button every hit as it hits.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of players will do that. They'll know when they poke with strong, they'll hit other buttons, and you know, there's things that people have adapted to when we didn't have any choice, and that's just the way that it worked. So, look, I do not begrudge head-to-head, and in fact, I think head-to-head is a perfectly legitimate method.
Of course.
And my comparison was like tennis courts. Like, there's hard court, there's grass court, whatever. In the end, you're playing the same game. It's just different environment.
I hear you.
So, SCR, top 8's going to be head-to-head. No problem with that. This event, going to be side-by-side. No problem with that. I don't see there's any reason to prefer one or the other. I mean, someone legit told me that, because when I was like, tennis is the same game, just different surfaces.
Yeah.
And someone was like, dude, side-by-side and head-to-head are completely not the same game. I was like, how is it not? It's the same console. It's the same program.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously it's literally the same game.
Yeah.
Like, what a silly statement.
Like, tennis is more different on different courts. Because on clay, you can slide, and like on hard court,
like, go on, yeah.
But yeah, I mean...
to be fair, not everybody knows tennis. I don't know it very well myself,
Oh,
but
okay,
I know that there are significant differences between the different surfaces. So.
Yeah. But, look, I understand why you'd want head-to-head, but to say objectively it's better, and to call for we should never have side-by-side again, I mean, to me, that's part of the gamesmanship. Playing next
it's
to
certainly
somebody.
what I like. I mean, I'm not competing anymore, so I don't know how much I have to say about it, but that's what I prefer. I really like being next to my opponent because I'm confident in my ability to out jerk the other guy. Like I feel like I can I can like out like in real life metagame them. You know what I mean? Because I've done it for like a long time.
Yeah, and even some
it's
players.
Just part of the game to me. But.
Yeah, exactly. And some players like Ricky, I feel like she has a distinct advantage when she plays side by side because we've always talked about this commentary. She always looks at the other person in between rounds and matches. Like every time they play, you always see her like glance over.
Of course.
And because she's getting an assessment of what the person's. If you see like if they lose a round, they're like, oh, then you know that's when you go for the kill. If you see them losing, they're like, ha ha ha, then you know they're not necessarily taking it serious. You know, there's things that you can glean out of it that you can't when you're sitting across from each other and can't see their faces.
You know what I don't like that much is playing online. And it's not just that I'm not with another person. Right. It's that I don't get any of that extra info. And so I feel much less confident about myself going into the second round. Even if I've won the first round, I don't get any of this little side info that I'm always looking for.
Right.
And so my confidence, like maybe the other person is like in that room being like, yeah, I see what I did wrong in that first round. Like I get it. All right, I'm gonna come back much stronger. If that person was next to me when they were doing that, I would be like, I see.
Yeah.
And like, I'll adapt. But if they're like, oh god, man, and then they go to the next round, I'm like, thumbs up.
Yeah. And you know what?
Everything's golden. I don't get that online, but head-to-head is, to me, head-to-head is in-person online play. So I find it less interesting. But I get that other people would find it more interesting, presumably it's just like in tennis, people prefer one or the other. That's fine, but I think you're right to say that it's just a different surface or whatever, rather than being a different game, and that both are legit.
Yeah. I don't think objectively either are better. Subjectively, you may have a preference, but I don't think there's an objective difference between it. And
yeah, man.
And I mean, there's been times I've played matches where because I'm sitting next to them, you can tell the moment they realize you do a trick like a couple of times. Like you'll do something, and you see them do this.
Yeah.
And you're like,
a little nod for sure.
And you're like, okay, I'm switching it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many little things.
It's like, what if, like, do you think that there are pro poker players who find illegitimacy in offline poker play?
Well, poker's all about that, right?
Really? Because a lot of people play it online.
I guess it's true.
There's a big online poker scene. It has been for quite a long time. People make money doing that. I just wonder if there are any poker players who think, man, I don't want to play side by side because then the opponent gets reads on me.
Right.
It should just be about the gameplay. Like, do you think that there are people like that? I wonder.
It's funny because like someone mentioned that Daigo one time brought a blocker, and so did remember in KOF they did the same thing. The year that Korea beat Bala, they brought that chair and they put the shirt on there and stuff like that. I mean, if you don't like it, if you don't like it, bring it. Bring the blocker, dude.
Or you can do what somebody, maybe it was Mago or something like that, was playing against Sanford, a known button looker at it.
Oh yeah.
and like scooted way back from where Sanford was, so that Sanford couldn't see the buttons anymore.
Yep.
There's all these things you can do.
Dude, who was it? I can't remember if it was Watson who did it to Schaefer or Schaefer who did it to Watson. But they played a tournament on Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinets, and one of them showed up with a box that was cut with 2 holes to perfectly fit their arms so that they could play on the arcade cabinet and cover their hands to prevent the other guy from looking at that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, this was arcade Street Fighter 2. Might have been like Hyper Fighting or something like that. So.
Yeah, I saw it at like the barricades and stuff 10 years after that. So yeah, that makes sense. Apparently there are poker players, Arcade Ghost says, who are like that, who find less legitimacy in in-person play because it's not just about the gameplay.
Really?
That's fascinating to me. That's just that is fascinating, along with this question in fighting games, because I wonder if it's just the product of the internet. Like, is it like the later generation grew up with the internet playing games online,
right?
And like now that's their default, But for us, the default is human interaction. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
this is all a
'cause,
generational.
I mean, no, honestly, when we started arguing
That's
about
hilarious.
online, the funniest thing is that someone actually said to me, I was like, someone was like, you know, like, this is how we play in the arcades, because he was referring to the Japanese cabinets, which they're always head-to-head
sure,
in Japan,
Japanese,
right?
yeah.
So he was like, this is how arcades play. And I'm like, what arcades did you play?
Right.
I was like, I never played head-to-head when I was playing growing up. And then, like, I was arguing, like, this is how it's always been in the arcades. And then someone came up back to me and was like, arcades are dead, man. I was like...
Yeah, and mostly have been for quite a while.
Yeah, and I couldn't even really argue on that. I was like, no, you're right. Arcades are 100% dead, so...
I can definitely tell you the people who were talking about this on Twitter did not grow up in a Japanese arcade
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
head-to-head
yeah.
there. There are some U.S. arcades that are head-to-head and were for a long... You know, like Family Fun was. But,
Yeah.
you know, there were plenty that were not. And certainly I think the default was to not. Anyway, it's funny to me to think about it as maybe a generational concern. I
Yeah.
hadn't considered that before, like 2 minutes ago.
And I do want to clarify, you know, I mean, obviously we're kind of laughing and chuckling about some of these things. But, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm completely dismissing any of the people who are actually saying that. You know what I mean? Who say that head-to-head is better or whatever.
That's just
like
a
that.
disagreement.
I totally understand. And like I said, I don't have any problems with head-to-head. And I 100% see why they think that way. You know what I mean? And I 100% agree that for the game they want to play, it is better. But
That's a good way to put
to
it.
me, that's not what the game has always meant to be. Like that whole personal psychological analysis kind of thing has always been part of Street Fighter to me. Because, you know, even back in the days when we played at Wednesday Night Fights, when I played Unknown People, after I beat them like one game, I would look at them to see how they react. Or not only that, I would also turn and joke with them a lot of the times. Like sometimes I would just like make jokes about stuff, and it's almost kind of like a way to diffuse their anger or frustration
I know
or
that,
stuff like that. In fact, I mean, APOC, super good alpha player. I beat him at B4 and B5 in Alpha 2 and 3, I think. It was Alpha 3, I think it was. And years later, he told me, he's like, the reason why I could never beat you because I could never get angry enough to want to beat you.
That's funny.
He was
That's
like, I could never get that, like, I could never get that full drive to want to beat you like I could to everybody else. Because you were always, like, so nice and stuff. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah. That's really cool.
Take any advantage you can get, so.
Well, I certainly that's how I view it.
Yeah.
But might not be the case for a newer gen. Well, again, that's fine. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, and you're right to say that I don't have any problems with the people who are saying it either. Like it's just a disagreement. It's not a big deal. But I don't want to completely lose the stuff that I enjoy, because even on commentary, I think it's really fun and useful and can be interesting for people watching to point out how the two players are interacting with each other. I think there's a lot of potential value in that, and so I would not want to lose it.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems to me like it's, look, with any decision that you make on any given rule, there are going to be people who do better or worse based on that. If there were to be real soundproof booths, some people would do better. Some people would do worse. Some people wouldn't matter. Same thing for head-to-head versus side-to-side. Same thing for, you know,
PS4
pad.
or 360.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Any number of things, it's just going to come out like one way or the other, and it's not just fighting games, it's like in general.
Yeah. I mean, let's just put it this way. Let's say the powers that be, all the TOs out there, eventually start agreeing, and in 2 years' time, every tournament is head-to-head. I'm not going to complain. I have no problem with that. Me, it really is just, I just don't see anything wrong with side-to-side, and I don't think it's a problem. Let's just put it that way. So.
Sounds right to me. Yeah. Hey man, I mean, certainly you could make similar stuff happen in a lot of situations. Not everything, because some pool play is like too close. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh yeah.
But there are plenty of other situations where, you know, you could scoot back, or you could play pad.
Yeah.
Apparently, pad is the solution.
Or like we said, just bring a blocker.
Bring a blocker. There you
Bring a
go.
blocker.
Maybe what you could do, this would be hilarious, is wear one of those full body suits that it covers the face as well, and it's just like a big green blob, and nobody knows who you are. You just show up. You're like, somebody calls your name, and you're like, oh yeah, here I am. But nobody knows what your emotions are.
Dude, you've just completely described Fireliga's strategy.
Genius. Now we know how he wins all those dad pick tournaments.
Exactly.
There you go.
You can't read him. You can't read him.
him.
He just looks happy all the time. No matter what happens. Oh man. But anyway, yeah, I just thought that was an interesting topic of conversation. So
yeah, it is.
I just kind of wanted to espouse how I felt about the whole side by side, and also the pad versus stick thing. Pad versus stick thing. I mean, I've had people actually ask me like, "I'm really trying to learn stick," and I'm just like, "Why?" Like, it's gotten to that point now.
Yeah, they're
like,
both
it doesn't
legit.
matter. But it's just funny to me that it's gotten to a point where in side-to-side events, I should clarify that people consider pads to be a strong, distinct advantage over joystick.
I just don't understand why, if it's such a big deal to you.
I mean, obviously,
you're
not good at pad or whatever. Like, because some people,
So?
there's a really hard transition from going to joystick to pad.
So? No, but that's my legit answer though, because I feel like that's the same kind of discussion as going from some bad character to some good character. I feel like I meshed better with Q than I did with any of the top tier.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit of time to learn. No, that's not true. It took me like a week to learn Chen. Totally
it's
false.
funny because Rizal actually mentions here in the chat at Evo this year he was using Ryu and he did quarter circle forward light kick and shouted Hadouken.
That's awesome.
And got the opponent to jump.
That's awesome.
And I mean 100%. That was one of my favorite tactics when I did play Street Fighter 3 with Denjin and Ryu. I've told you this tactic before, right? I would always do Denjin Ryu with jab. Always do it with jab. So jab and I'd hold the button because it was close enough to my joystick hand that I would literally take my thumb and hold jab down like this.
That's so smart.
And then when the opponent was sitting there in the corner ready to parry, I did this. And he would try to parry, nothing would happen. They'd be like, what? And then I'd let go with my thumb.
That's so smart.
Like, I would actually do that. And I remember doing that, and everyone watching at the time was like, oh. Like, that was dirty. But I mean, that's just, that's what we grew up in, right? That's what we did, so, yeah.
Anyway, everybody should have been playing Hitbox like 5 years ago. What are you guys doing?
Right, exactly.
I really feel that not playing Hitbox is like not playing the best potential character for you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're just making it worse on yourself. Because it's better.
Oh yeah, it's significantly better. And I mean, the time I try to get used to it, it's hard. It takes a while to get used to it.
It's a little while, but it's not like some impossible transition.
I mean, dude, like, I've seen all, like, you know how everyone plays WASD for up, down, left, right on the keyboard, right? One of my friends actually plays WSED. Like, they play these 4 keys. One of them's left, right, one of them's up and down. So he can hold diagonals easier and stuff like that. And
wow, interesting.
Like, and it's not intuitive, but he'd done it for so long that he just got used to it, and now to him it's second nature.
Sure, that makes sense.
So it always works that way. Just like Rising Thunder, like, whether you put the specials on the top or the bottom, it just depends on what you want to get used to. There's no rhyme or reason to go one way or the other. You know, I have the specials on the bottom. I think most people put the specials on the top because that's what it is default on the keyboard.
Right, but on the
joystick
it's the opposite.
Oh, is it? Oh,
opposite.
okay. Well, that's how I do it. So.
Did you know if you wear glasses that invert your vision, your brain will eventually figure it out and everything will look normal to you?
And then when you take them off, everything's upside down again.
Yeah.
Human brain, man.
Something to think about, folks.
One of the biggest strengths of the human brain is its ability to adapt. So, yep. Well, okay.
Okay, I guess, is that about it?
Yeah, there's nothing else really to talk
Mario
about.
Maker.
I mean, I guess we could talk about Mario Maker a little bit.
I believe it's Mario Maker. Can I just tell you that?
Mario Maker? So have you always believed he's been Mario and Luigi, or?
Yes, but on top of that, the person in the manual is named Mary O.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah. I was always really mad too because someone actually, there was like these weird rumors a long time ago that Nintendo was going to create their own Xbox Live and it was going to be called Marionette.
Oh, that's funny.
And it just didn't happen. It's just sad. Like, that's such a great name to use, you know what I mean? And it just never happened, so. But yeah, I saw you create a stage. I haven't played it yet. Next time I stream it, I'll probably try it.
It's pretty much what you think it's going to be.
I mean, this is my guess. Okay, this is my guess, and that you can record your own sounds and put them into blocks or when you walk past.
Can you do that?
Yeah. Oh, dang. Okay. See, I thought you were going to just
I haven't unlocked everything, dude. I don't want to grind. Like, I play there for however long it takes to build whatever my vision in, and then I'm out of there. Because when I'm in let's create stuff mode, completely distinct. From let's grind mode, completely distinct.
I have TV, because the beautiful thing is that Mario Maker does not need the TV. 100% does not need a TV. So I just turned on TV. I turn on a TV show, Netflix, whatever TV show. Copy paste block, copy paste block.
That sounds awful.
It was pretty awful, but it didn't. It took like about an hour.
No, I've heard it doesn't take very long. It's just it's more of like the principle, I guess, of like how absurd it is to have to grind to be artistic.
It is kind of silly, actually.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, but I honestly thought you were gonna record just like nothing but fart noises, and like everywhere you ran around, it would just like make fart noises everywhere.
I'm looking forward to eventually being able to do that, if it ever happens.
Because I'm pretty sure you will do that.
Oh man.
Cannons that just shoot out fart noises. I mean, come on, dude. Like,
it would be an entire stage of now I'm forgetting the things that you jump on and you go higher.
Trampolines.
Yeah, trampolines.
Okay.
I feel like I can make those into sort of like whoopee cushions.
I could imagine you drawing a butt with coins, and like you have to enter the stage by going in there, or no, you would actually have to exit the stage, and when you do, you would put all the fart noises there. Actually,
that is so good, James. Now I'm mad at myself for not having come up with this. This is genius.
Well, I think my stage is pretty good. I didn't think it was as hard as it was, but I watched Mondo die on the stage for like 2 hours last night.
Dang.
Yeah.
He kept it up, huh?
Yeah, he kept going. He finally beat it. Yeah. I just thought it was a really creative stage in any case. But I tweeted it out. I'm not going to put it here on the stream or whatever like that. You can find it on my Twitter. I'll tweet it again tomorrow just because I want to see what more people think of it. Because some people were like,
I'll try it out.
Because I tried to create a stage that was fun, hard, like, because basically my complaint was that everyone's just going to do Kaizo Mario levels, right? So Kaizo Mario is that trolley Mario thing, right? So just going to put 7 Hammer Brothers and just be like, good luck, and stuff like that. So I wanted to make a level that was hard and fun at the same time. Apparently I did not succeed in that, because I've had some people tell me like I'm having no joy playing your stage at all whatsoever right now. So I'm like, damn, sorry. So I'm going to try to do it. Oh shit, it took about 2 hours. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, shoutouts to you guys for keeping it up.
Yeah.
My stage is called the Battle of Verdun, which is a famous World War I battle of trench warfare in which 1 million people died. And the stage is basically a series of trenches and cannons on top of it. And there's those little skull things. They're like embedded into the ground underneath. And there's thwomps that come from the sky as if it were bombs.
This is just way too.
And there are parts of it where it sounds like drum fire, which was a phenomenon in World War I, where there were so many artillery shells falling simultaneously that it sounded like somebody playing the drums. That's how many shells landed simultaneously. Yeah. Dang. So that's what I try to do on my stage. Oh man.
Well, my stage certainly doesn't sound very interesting. So I don't know if you saw what. So my stage basically is like you play the stage. There's 3 distinct sections in it. You go through it. Seems like a pretty normal, very standard stage. You get to the very end and you realize you can't get to the flag because you need a turtle shell to break bricks to get to the flag. But there's no turtle shell. So you hit a vine. You climb all the way up to the top. There's 1 turtle up there. The only direction you can kick it is left. So you kick it left. You run entirely back to the front of the stage. And then the turtle follows a different path than you do, and you have to chase it to make sure it doesn't disappear.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And so, like, the second section is nothing but note blocks that you have to bounce off of to cross this big pit when you get there with the red shell, I designed it so the red shell goes up above you and bounces all of them and bounces through them. So you have to do that while you're dodging the red shells at the same time.
Dang, that sounds tough.
The last section is like you trying to get around a bunch of fireball chains, but the shell goes through the top in a path that you can't see and hits a bunch of question blocks that all contain Podoboos, the little fireballs from the castle. So they all drop from the sky as you're running through there, and it's like raining on you and stuff. So basically, I made it so that it was like
super trolly.
The first time you go through, it's like, this isn't too hard, but then when you realize how the shell changes the stage.
It sounds cool.
That was basically what I was trying to go for. Like, kind of like a discovery kind of thing, like, oh, that's kind of sick how he did it. But apparently I just ended up pissing off people more than anything, so yeah.
Did you play Raph's stage? OAR Raph?
No, I haven't yet.
Dude, highly recommended for you.
Okay. I've already favorited it, so I will play it next time.
It's Dr. Wily stage.
Oh, he just remade Dr. Wily stage?
Really
Dude,
good.
That's so cool. Okay. Cool.
So the next one that I'm working on is titled Waiting for Godot.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Which is a well-known play. People might know about it. In which the character waits for Godot, aka God, forever, and never comes. And so what all the stage is it's a big box with little destructible, the Mario 3 destructible blocks, right?
Yeah.
And with hard walls on all the sides. And there's one turtle. And you kick the turtle, and then it goes boop, 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 getting all of these blocks out of the way, and then it falls down to the next one. And there's this row of destructible blocks. And it takes about 480 seconds to get all the way through it. And when it's at the end, that's just the end. The end is right there.
Like, I almost would have liked to have seen it so that you could because you could like put yourself in the middle and all you do see is a green turtle walk by, and you need the green turtle to break a block next to you to get to the end, but you just don't see the pit off the screen, and eventually the turtle walks off the pit and never shows up.
What I really wanted to do was make an unwinnable level, but you can't.
You
upload
can't.
it.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And then what I wanted to do was do it in the new Super Mario Brothers, where in like the new Super Mario Brothers, the turtles dance.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think they dance in Mario.
No, because they dance with the background music.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
So that's too bad, because I wanted it to be that same level, but to have the idiots dancing on the side and not understanding the insanity and the dire situation that they're in. Wow. But
dude,
I can't.
You seriously, like, I just want you to keep making Mario Maker levels all day. Like, I really want the Great Expectations level. Dude, can you do like a portrait of an artist as a young man stage,
that sounds hilarious.
Dude, that would be ridiculous. Because I'm sure you can put wings on everything and turn them into tucku birds and everything like that. So, and the moo cows and everything. So, it's actually pretty amazing.
Thanks, Nintendo. That's why I don't want to grind. I just want to have all my cool tools there. And like for the Battle of Verdun, I don't have any dry bones unlocked yet. But how perfect would that be to have?
Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about.
That's
the dry bones.
That's what I intended.
Okay. Right. Nice.
It's pretty messed up.
It's awesome.
Fun though.
Oh, dude, that would be so sick. So someone in the chat says soon James is gonna sell us Mario Maker as a fighting game. Could you imagine if you played 2 players and you just like made green pipes that put out turtle shells all the time at like different levels, and so you just kept trying to toss shells at each other to see who would win? That would be the sickest stage if you could do like a co-op Mario Maker level like that.
Can you do co-op?
I don't know actually.
Because I'm sure you could come up with really cool ideas like that.
Yeah, like versus stages or something. That would be pretty sick.
I don't think you can do that, but have co-op mode. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe unlocked in some future time. That sounds really cool though.
That would be really fun. Any case, now I'm getting Mario Maker. Dude, I've lost so much sleep thanks to that stupid game, just like I knew I would.
Yeah.
There was one day I just started working on my level and just playing through it, and I looked at the clock, it was like 4 a.m. I was like,
Dang.
Really? I got to sleep at 7 a.m. that night, dude. It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So.
That's pretty nuts.
Anyways, I'll tweet it out again tomorrow on my stage so you can partake in the suffering.
Yeah, I'd like to. That sounds cool.
Yeah, so. Okay. Anyways, I guess that's all for the day. Long show today, but 2 weeks worth of content for sure. We'll be back next week. A lot of people have been asking us what the next event we're going to be at. We should be at SCR.
Indeed.
We're also going to Canada Cup as well.
Indeed.
I believe we're going to try to make NEC
Also.
as well. So yeah. So.
And also Capcom Cup.
Yep, and Capcom Cup. So, all right, guys. Yeah, anything else?
Have an easy fast if you're fasting for Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, have a good one.
All right. Peace out, everybody.